you, thank you. Like you said, I live in Atlanta. I've lived there a long time, so I tell people I'm from Atlanta, but I'm originally from India. It's hot, it's poor, people speak English with a funny accent. Those were my first impressions of Newfoundland. But it's growing on me. They told me it was going to be cold here, so check your settings. I don't know what you're doing. I live in the American South, which is also hot and poor, and people speak English with a funny accent. It was weird when I moved there. My first roommate said, you know, racism, this was in '95. He said racism is still a problem in the South. Sometimes someone opens their front door and they find a burning cross on their lawn. And I thought, that's interesting. In India, if I opened my front door and found a burning cross on my lawn, my first reaction would be, holy shit, I have a lawn. Yesterday, this was a dingy hallway. What happened here? I don't even really get the symbolism of the burning cross. Was there a KKK meeting where the Grand Wizard said, all right, what we need to do is we need to take a pagan symbol like fire and a Christian symbol like the cross, and we need to put them together so that it's unambiguous that we hate black people. And Jews. And even though they brought pizza to America, Catholics. Is that what happened? I have no idea. I think my second reaction if I saw a burning cross would be, Jesus Christ, not this again. I was raised Catholic. I paid for that joke with Catholic guilt. You might as well laugh. Fire is such a fickle metaphor, though. You notice that? Like, if you're fired up, that's a good thing, but if you're fired, that's kind of disappointing. Or if you're on fire metaphorically, that's great, but if you're on fire literally the worst thing that can happen. Who came up with that metaphor? Anyway, one of the confusing things about me is that, a couple of things. One, like I said, I'm from India, and as an Indian stand-up comic in America, I feel like I'm supposed to joke about how people suspect I'm a terrorist, but people don't suspect I'm a terrorist, they suspect I'm a doctor. I don't know why they don't suspect I'm a terrorist. Maybe my lack of self-confidence. Maybe I should try some public speaking. I don't know. I just don't know. But also my name, because people are like, you're from India and your name's Chris Martin. I can pronounce your name. What's wrong with you? But my parents are Catholic, and hence the name. It's funny, the only time my name was actually mispronounced was in India. It was a substitute teacher taking roll. And because it was a substitute teacher, I don't know why I was paying attention, or the rest of the class was paying attention either. But she came to my name and she said, Charas? And to you that probably means nothing, but in Hindi, charas is the resin of the marijuana plant. So the rest of the class thought this was hilarious. And for the next 3 years, I had a dope nickname. Thank you, I won't be here all week. The way I got my name was my parents are devout Catholics. They wanted to name me after the saint on whose day I was born. And I was born on the feast of Saint Cecilia, which led them to conclude that God doesn't exist. You know, that's what I wish had happened. What happened was I was born on the feast of Saint Cecilia. The day before I was born was the feast of Christ the King, and they figured it would be irreverent to name me Christ, so they lopped off the T, and that's how I became Chris the King. Anyway, I got married a couple of years ago. Thank you for applauding my bravery. One of my friends said marriage is a wonderful institution, and I was like, what institutions are you comparing it to? Prison, 3rd grade, middle school? Low baselines there. But I got married a couple of years ago. My wife and I have been trying to conceive an infant. People say have a baby, but that includes kidnapping. So I try to be precise. And we've had to stop using birth control, which is odd, because when you're young, they're always like, always use birth control, always take precautions. And so you do this, and then you're supposed to stop after like 20 years. Like imagine you're a safe driver. Every time you get in the car, you put on your seatbelt. Make sure your rear view mirror is in the right position. You do this for 20 years, and one day you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna have a head-on collision. And then you drive around trying to have this collision and you don't have one. You're like, what happened? Megan had a collision in her own driveway. But yeah, I didn't even realize I was buying condoms out of habit until I was at a gas station at one point after I got married, and I thought I needed condoms, so I went to the clerk and pointed at the condoms like I needed them, and then realized I didn't need them anymore, so I pointed at something else and pretended I needed that again, and that instead. So I'm smoking again. Anyway, that's my time. Thank you, everyone.